Today's podcast is brought to you by IT Pro TV. You can go to itpro.tv/ring and find a coupon code, which I believe is ring30. Get up to 30% off that.
You believe it's ring 30?
I'm pretty sure it is.
It seems like that we should. No, okay.
Hope that burns your mouth.
Oh.
Just spoils the. What are you drinking?
Espresso.
Hmm.
Oh. Yeah.
The original Java.
Perfect.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Ignite's over, man.
yeah,
It came and went so fast.
it did. We'll see. We'll see everybody in the fall. That's it. Wrapping it up. Done.
You think they're going to do one in the fall?
I hope. I mean,
I think they should.
I think yeah. I think we
And do you
deserve
think
it.
that will be a hybrid event, or do you think we're going to go virtual through the end of the year?
That's a good question because Microsoft likes this hybrid thing because they can reach more people, and let's be honest, they never really had an issue with selling a lot of tickets to Ignite anyways.
Yeah. No, I would like to see them do that.
The only thing is that's
I would even go to Florida, Brad.
yeah, I would go just
You know,
about
it's like
anywhere.
this point, it's like, yeah. Oh, it's in Newark? Yeah, okay.
It's to Newark.
I could drive to Newark.
You could.
I mean, I wouldn't, but I could.
I think the challenge with in person though is doing like that true like live stream 24/7 or whatever is a lot harder rather than being in say Redmond where they can say you people need to be here rather than the cameras and technology need to be there, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, and that's a good point. Yeah, but I think we need to accept some limitations when we move to hybrid, right? So I don't know if maybe you know this. I know I guess it was Ignite late last year. They did a system with, and I think at Bill too. Maybe they would redo the sessions in different time zones, so people could kind of jump in live.
Yep.
I think the limitation on the hybrid scenario where the people from Microsoft are actually going to a place and I think at that point you have to just do it once live. And then, and say, look, sorry. I mean, there's just not much you can do about that. And of course, they, remember they have the regional and local Ignite events typically after the big show where they travel around and, so there should always be opportunities for them to, or maybe they just have or times where you could interact with the speakers separately or something. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. To your point, I think the big question is there an in-person event this fall?
Yeah, I think they could do it. I mean, assuming things continue the way they're trending, right?
Yeah.
They probably will require some proof of inoculation maybe for people to show up. That seems reasonable.
Big bet. I mean, it's a big, it's a big
I know.
bet for Microsoft. I wouldn't say risk because they got tons of money. Like it's not going to sink the company if this thing doesn't happen. But you think about it, like they've got to get the location, which I would assume they probably already have somewhere, like a contract or whatever. Then they got to see if they can sell the booth space, which potentially takes time. And then obviously they got to get people buying tickets.
The world is ready for this, though, don't you?
Gosh.
I mean, I on all sides. I don't just mean attendees, but partners who would want to be there in part. I think the desire is there. Yeah. No, I hope it happens. I
hope it does too. If it does, that would be potentially, at least from the Microsoft perspective, it wouldn't surprise me if they have like a press event in the fall because those are much easier because it's limited crowds. Usually in New York, it's 100
and you
people.
could even have it in a big place and just spread everybody out.
Yeah. But hopefully that won't be needed by then. We'll be able to go back to coughing on each other like we used to.
Did I tell you I sprayed a guy at the gym with the bottle of disinfectant the other day? Did I
Oh
tell you
my
this stuff?
God, no.
No, I know the guy was fun. I did it to be funny. So you walk up to like a machine. They have a paper towel thing, and you can spray it with the stuff, and you're supposed to disinfect everything. So I'm very studious about that. And this guy I know at the gym kind of walked up and he motioned like he was just going to throw like a used wad of paper towel in the trash basket that's next to the thing. And I saw him kind of motion, and I turned to the side of the spray bottle, and I was like, back off, COVID boy. And then he threw it, and I was like, squirt. It was good. And by the way, I think I cured COVID. At
Oh,
least for
with
10 minutes.
that one,
Yeah.
you did it.
Yeah, he was safe. 10 seconds.
Good. I don't know if I think I got this wired up correctly. Microsoft pushed out a new build of Windows 10 yesterday, Paul, that comes with, look at these new icons. If everybody on the audio is probably wondering what I'm looking at, but look at this.
What's going on here?
They,
These are icons.
Yes,
these are not like emoticons or something. Like,
no.
These are icons, like the Windows 10 style.
Yep. So.
And where are these gonna show up? These terrible things
in the OS,
cartoonish looking nonsense things.
The OS, Paul.
I have to say I don't know what you call it. It's probably not really the Windows 10 style because sometimes you see it on the web as well. But the Windows 10 style typography, iconography.
Yeah.
I like it,
Yeah.
And of course it's all vector based, right? So it can scale nicely. I think it looks good.
Yeah. So we can be on the lookout for those showing up in a build near you. Probably once they have those. Well, once they have their little Sun Valley or whatever Windows event that they're planning here, we should get a lot more clarity about this UI direction of when it's. Well, we know when it's going to arrive, right?
But this is the problem, right? It's the consistency thing, right? Whenever it's going to arrive. Like the problem is if they just add this to the apps we already have that use this, then it is no more consistent than it is now. You bring up something like File Explorer, and it's like from a different era.
Yeah,
it's completely different look and feel. It's a desktop app.
You can travel back to 1998 with the control panel.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I'd like to see some consistency in UX or whatever applied to those legacy apps or whatever you want to call them.
I feel like the control panel though is like from Lion King. That's like the dark area that just nobody goes to because that is the old IT pro admin way of doing everything, and like you just don't touch it. Like nobody's gonna win.
There were worse interfaces than that. There's that MMC thing, right? So if you bring up computer management or disk management, my face just lit up because I'm using dark mode, but these things are still white.
Yeah, well, open up hardware manager or whatever that's called.
Yeah, those things are the device manager. Yeah, they're just old. They've never been touched. Basically, I mean.
Yeah, well, probably because the people who wrote those things are no longer at Microsoft.
Exactly, retired 20 years ago.
Yeah. Does it say Ray Ozzie on there? What the heck?
Ray Ozzie would be a relative newcomer compared to some of the stuff.
That is true. It's Yeah, so we got that build rolling out. You can go grab those bits if you're
so inclined.
If you are so inclined. So
I don't quite get the dev channel stuff anymore. It's like, me.
Well, it's like it's kind of, I guess, to your point, worse or better than that. It's like there's that channel, and then there's people within that channel who will get things, and people who won't. So
God, please, it just hurts my head thinking about how they're doing this. It's awful.
It's all about control, Paul. Control. All about it. And if you want to take control of your IT Pro future, you can do so by going over to itpro.tv, which is a skills development platform addressing the global IT skills gap by providing online training for IT professionals in every stage of their career. With training that's more like a talk show, IT pros watch more and learn more with an affordable, convenient, and better than classroom experience. You can learn more by going to itpro.tv/ring, and it is Ring 30. Ring 30.
Wow, look at you.
I am
confident. That's what I like to see.
Well, it only took like 7 episodes to get to itpro.tv's thing now.
Yeah.
So, there was something else that happened that I was going to bring up, but I cannot. Well, there's some new games on Game Pass, including NBA 2K1 or 2K21. 2K1. Wow, that would be 20 years ago. 2K.
Right. See how hard it is? I did the same thing yesterday when I had to say this out loud. Like you say it, and you're like, wait, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
2K21, 2K21.
Yep. And then also, vaguely interested, actually, but more than vaguely, is the Rogue Squadron. So if you're a Star Wars person and you want to play that, it's going to be coming, which is actually kind of a big deal for just Game Pass in general. I mean, it's a good title.
Yes. You notice, though, it's all like console and cloud, or mostly console.
It's
like the EA Play stuff. Like, when's PC happening?
They said early 2021, Paul.
It is early 2021.
I know. What technically, they'll say, well, that runs until June 29th, right? It's like, yeah, but that's not what you meant. Like, you meant early.
I bet it happens soon.
Hopefully, because supposed to happen 12/31.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was thinking too. So here's sort of an odd one, but this was announced this morning. Paul, you remember Tidal, the music streaming company?
You're acting like it has disappeared, but yes, I do.
Do you remember Square, the Jack Dorsey guy that owns Twitter banking company? They bought Tidal.
Oh, that's curious.
Yeah. So gut reaction was like exactly what you just said. It's like, why? First thing I thought was like, well, you sign up for checking account, you get free streaming, which, whatever. But apparently, and I got to read all the details, they're setting up like a new sort of company, and their pitch, I think, is going to be that the music creators are going to get more money out of that streaming platform, because that's sort of been like the movement lately, I guess, is, pay the people that make the stuff more rather than the platforms taking a huge cut. So we'll see how that.
How many people even use Tidal, though? I think the problem for these guys, and I don't know why it hasn't happened yet, but we know now Spotify's going HD. We'll see if it's actually lossless or CD quality or whatever they're claiming. But Apple's going to do this someday. The Apple thing will be amazing. So once Apple and Spotify both offer this, why would anyone choose Tidal?
I think the pitch is just going to be trying to get those musicians over to it, and then them pushing it. They didn't pay much. It was like $300 million, which that's a lot of money, but for a
not really.
For a company, it's not.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I don't have anything against Tidal. Don't get me wrong, but I've always felt like you're stepping on the toes of giants here. Like these companies that already dominate this industry are going to offer what you offer. They just are. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. Then the other big thing too was that Google is claiming they're no longer going to track. It's really hard to say.
I appreciate that you enjoyed the comedy of this, by the way.
Google is stating they're no longer going to individually track you across the interwebs with their advertising.
No. Of course they're still going to track. Yeah. They just don't want other people to track you. They're like, yeah, we're going to get rid of third-party, cookies or whatever. It's like, okay. But, I mean, I don't know. Does anyone actually believe that this is like, Google did that advertising initiative a few years ago where they're like, we're going to build an ad blocker into Chrome. It's like, yes. No, you're not. What are you talking about? I don't know. Google's tough for me because the truth is I use a lot of their services. Yep. I do rely on them, and I guess implicitly you could say I must trust them. Google Maps, Google Photos, etc. But I mean, you have to have major concerns about this company, don't you? I mean,
yeah, like yes, I that's why I hesitated to say that like fluently, because that's their business.
Sentence like,
yeah.
Google says we're going to move to a privacy-free or privacy-first web, and not laugh. Like right. You can't get through that sentence without seeing the absurdity of it, And you read the thing, and it's like, okay, come on, like what are they doing here, really?
Exactly. It's like somebody came up to you and said, "Here's a piece of healthy cheesecake," and you're like, "Yeah, wait a minute, like."
Healthy cheese, right. No, eat it. It's fine.
It's fine. Like it's got 30% less sugar than the other kind, which already had 18 pounds of sugar in it.
It's only 1,800 calories. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to come out in 3 years that Google just found out a different way to identify and target ads. And
well, right. So there are two opposing things happening here. They realize that their users are getting hip to the fact that they're being tracked everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone has had that moment. Everyone. Where you and I will have a conversation, or you and your wife, or whatever it is, and then you open up an app or the web and you see ads for that thing. Like, everyone has experienced this. Everyone. And in the back, even in people who are like, Google deserves to be paid. They provide a service, and I don't care about my data. Like, in the back of everyone's head, there's this little trickle of like, wait, what's going on here? Suspicion. There should be, if there isn't. But then on the other hand, you've got 80% of Google's revenues are coming from ads. And from their tracking technology that makes those ads personalized and blah, 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 whatever, that results in that thing I just described, that phenomenon that we're all confused by. And they need to satisfy both of these needs somehow. It's not possible. Right. There's no happy middle ground. So they're going to fall in one direction or the other. And I can't wait to see how this lands because,
Yeah. Yep. We'll see. And the timing was suspicious, as with everything with Google, because they hadn't updated their apps for a long time. And then all of a sudden they update their apps, and then they're like, hey, we're not going to
why they hadn't updated their apps in such a long time. It had literally been 3 months in most cases because of the privacy requirements on iOS.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like I said, it's a hard thing to reconcile in your brain, in my brain anyway. Like, I do trust Google, I guess, in certain ways. And I guess I do, because in many cases, photos is a good example. Maps is a great example. Search, they are the best. It's not even close.
Yep.
Like, if it was close, I would probably use the other thing, whatever it might be. It's not close in those cases, and probably in others.
I agree. And if you want to educate yourself just a little bit, you can head on over to itpro.tv, today's podcast sponsor. That's itpro.tv/ring. And we will be back tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Friday.